Rapfest Radio on rapfestradio.com. We're not number one. God is. We may not be the best, but our purpose is to lead you to the best. Jesus Christ. www.rapfestradio.com. Old school to new school. Classics to exclusives. Gospel, hip-hop music and videos. Live video interviews Monday nights at 8 p.m. Monday nights at 8 p.m. Watch. Learn. Love. Support. Rapfest Radio on rapfestradio.com. Rapfestradio.com. Rapfestradio.com.
Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. I got saved, I'm a product of the kingdom life. I do it big, it's just now I do it big for Christ. The Bible say we die daily, so move forth in flurries. So I body bag myself, mortuary. You got a little chain, that's cool with me. Ice watch, new stones, that's cool with me. You thinking you ballin', that's cool with me. You need ice, cause it's gonna be hot where you be. Christ died for us, that's faithful and committed. And even if it was you, he still would've did it. So every time I think about my life in a switch up, I put my hands up like a sticker. I'm cool as the Fonz was, up yonder. So why they still hate like they do, that's beyond us. Show up in the place in my Sunday best. Ray-Bans, Gucci pants, I am Sunday fresh. Word of God all in my sounds. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Your past is your past, homie, so get past that. You're born in the newness, your stars, he done patch that. You're set apart, homie, built with holy parts. Nobody built like you, you designed by God. Your body is a temple, it was made with hope. Not every man trying to get a Facebook post. You know the dude ill from the games that he took. There's nothing he got for you, cause he unequally yoked. I pray for strength, I pray for grace, I pray for my fam, I pray for faith. Wake up in the morning, it's about that time to hit the church, cause it starts at 9. Wake up in the morning, it's about that time to hit the church, cause it starts at 9. Show up in the place in my Sunday best. Ray-Bans, Gucci pants, I am Sunday fresh. Word of God all in my sounds. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron. Excuse me, Mr. Dr. Ron.
Would you pour out your spirit on our city today, God? Would you show up in the middle of our city, God? We will not be silent, but we open up our mouth.
Blackout on them, go off in the sound. Blackout on them, go off in the zone.
Tri-State area, NYC, God bless you. This is Pastor Allen Jimmy Diaz here in the city of Jacksonville, Florida. And we're so excited for what you guys did out there in 2009. And now we see this movement rapidly moving out throughout the whole United States and throughout the nation. God bless you. We love you. Peace out.
What is up, everybody? This is Samuel Lopez from Reaction. This is Lucas coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. What's up, yo? We want to give a big shout out to NYC, New York City, and the Tri-State area. God bless you guys, and thank you for allowing us to have and be a part of GBIMC, man.
That's right. Texas has been rocking over the last several months. We're all connected all over the state. We're going to connect with you guys very, very soon. So God bless you guys.
Once again, God bless you guys. Love you, New York. God bless my city, baby.
What's good, New York? It's your boy Eddie Arrell, Pastor True Vitality. Tabernacle. I just appreciate what you guys did back in 2009, stepping up to the plate. So we just want to thank you guys for what you guys are doing. Continue to do the hard work that you guys are doing, because we see the fruits around the nation. So thank you guys. Be blessed. We love you.
My name is Bert from Miami, Florida. As we started talking to different youth leaders about God belongs to my city, we learned that everybody was in agreement to do this walk. And as we got together and we did this, we found there was such a great unity in the body of Christ. We became one body. Although we were from different churches, different denominations, we became one body to proclaim that God belongs in my city. So don't hold back, don't detain, let's go with it. So let's go and make that proclamation. I'll see you in the byways and highways. God bless you.
And one day, it was there, pushing against my existence. The lines are drawn, not on the ground, but in my heart. My soul is at stake, and they are after it. Run. My legs weary, I hide. In anger, I scream, but the sound doesn't stop me. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities, against the rulers of darkness. Fight! Run! I battle. Take the whole armor of God, that you'll be able to withstand in the evil day. Having done all, stand. You are not alone. There is a force even greater. Life is precious, but it's finite. We have expiration. It's what we do with the time that counts. That's why I pray to the God who's infinite, the God who saves.
Fuel Student Conference, even greater. October 5th through the 7th, 2012. Hosted by Jacob and Tara Bergaz at Faith Fellowship Ministries. Featured artists Canton Jones, Richie Righteous, Icon for Hire, Worth Dying, Faith Gen Band, and DJ Why Not. Guest speakers Tim Ross, John Gray, Jeremy Johnson, and Pastor Demola. Get registered at fuelcomp.com. It's more than just a conference. It's a movement.
You're listening to Rapfest Radio on rapfestradio.com.
Yo! What's up, everybody? Hold on, I'm sorry. Gotta do something here. Little feedback monitor right there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rapfest Radio, rapfestradio.com. We are here live on Monday night with half of the guests that we announced so far. Pastor Bauza from Calvary Church. We were expecting Derek Lovett to be here. He's probably on his way. We're not 100% sure. We can't communicate with him. But yes, there is a Derek Lovett, who is the CEO and president of MBD. If you don't meet him today on the radio show, we'll try to make sure we get him over to Rapfest.
Definitely.
So we could greet everybody. But welcome. We were off for a week. I had a nice vacation.
Yes,
Don't adjust
you
your
did.
colors. They're just a little tan there from the sun.
Nice.
Yeah, even though I'm dark skinned, I still get tan. Yeah. Well, that and bathing and stuff all together, combination. No, we had a good time and just a week off of just chilling out, cooling out, relaxing, all cool. Like I went to Philly. Had Philly cheesesteaks.
What's Philly?
Philly, I love you guys from Philly. Cross movement, you're my mans and all of that stuff. The cheesesteaks ain't all that.
Oh.
It's not, man. I gotta be real. We're a responsible radio show.
Wow.
We're a responsible radio show.
As you see it.
We went to Pat's. There's two, right? We went to a museum first, right? I asked the lady, "You live in Philly?" She says, "Yeah." "Where's the best cheesesteaks?" She says, "Well, the best cheesesteaks are Pat's and Dino's. They're right next to each other. They're literally like corner to corner." We went over there. The place was packed. The line was around the corner. So we said, you know what? Let's go to Pat's. Everybody's online at Pat's getting their cheesesteaks. I got there. I was like, that's it? Maybe I asked for it wrong, guys. Forgive me if I asked for it wrong. But I figured it's a Philly cheesesteak.
You didn't hit up any other guys?
I was thinking, Justin kept saying, "Culture Fire Life, Culture Fire Life." But either way, maybe I'll go back and try Gino's. You guys tweet me and tell me how I should ask for it, so that I get it done.
Tweet Rap Fest Radio for the best Philly cheesesteak spot. We'll go out there for a weekend just to find.
Right now, I think this place called like Rocky's down on 26th Street. Got them
by
where I work, so it's pretty cool.
That was a spot on Southern Boulevard that I went to. That's not that bad.
yeah. Alice was the one that said. Alice like, it's not all that, but maybe we asked for it wrong. Somebody goes to Puerto Rico for the first time, they don't know how to ask for the right.
Over there?
What?
Over there? For
No.
the cheesesteak?
No.
Only over here.
Only from here in the Bronx, man.
Yeah.
That's where the real Philly cheesesteak.
That's where it originated from.
It's like where the real pizza's at. That's where the real burger's at. We're New Yorkers for life. That's what it is. Hey, we're so excited. Rap Fest is so close around the corner. Actually, Jose, if you could pass me, there's a flyer right there without knocking anything over. It would be great if you could just pass it over to me. Rap Fest is right around the corner. Can't believe it creeped up on us so fast. It seemed like
yes, it did.
Seemed like a long time ago. Yeah. We were just talking about let's see what we do next year. Now it's here. I'll give some quick announcements before we get to speak to Pastor Bauza. First things first. On Saturday, August 4th, we're having a prayer walk at the location where Rap Fest is going to be held. We're going to be meeting at Calvary. I know we told some people meet at the Pathmark Mall. That's cool. We're going to have people at both locations, so that way we could just direct everybody to one central location, and we'll go from there. We already mapped out about a 1.5 mile walk with Danny from God Belongs in My City. They brought out their apps. They're like he's like, oh, we have an app for that. And he pulled out his iPad and he's like, he's mapping this stuff. And 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, that's perfect. So we got a nice little map that they're going to give to everybody, and we're just going to walk and pray. And that's something we do usually anyway, but we do it with a smaller group. This year we're looking to do it with a bigger group. It is a lot of area to cover. And Pastor Bauza is going to be telling us more about that area as well. But we're going to be meeting on Saturday, August 4th, 12 noon at the Pathmark Mall and at Calvary Church. Whichever one you decide to go to is fine. They're right next to each other. We'll get together and we're going to go out together. If you have your God Belongs in My City t-shirt, rock it. If you don't have one, you want to buy one, go to GodBelongsInMyCity.com, purchase it. If you don't have one of those, you don't have money to buy one, that's fine. Just come as you are. We're looking for people to pray, not necessarily looking to, buy the shirt. I mean, it helps, but we just need your presence there. That's the most important. And we're looking for other people to join us throughout the course of the day.
Actually, EDV, the church, I went to them yesterday, and they actually rescheduled an event that they had to come out and support. So nice. Shout out to them. Danny spoke with everyone and told the network, and they actually told me they're going to come out on Saturday.
Nice. Yeah, we're expecting a lot of people. I'm a little scared to go out too many people. I'm like, but we're not. It's
gonna be nice.
We're just going to pray. And what I'm looking forward to is walking into the projects and kneeling down and praying right there. Letting people know there's hope for you in this city. Going to the buildings in the back, 172nd, 173rd, and letting people know there's hope for you in this neighborhood.
They need it. They need it in our area bad.
It's New York City right now is
It's been hot lately.
Hot violence. Just before the show, we were watching the news. 6 shootings in Brooklyn yesterday. One included a two-year-old girl that got shot. I mean, that's out of control. You know, and I'm praying that, I know we're not, you know, Rap Fest is not the answer to fix it all, and that one little march on 174th Street is not going to fix the whole world. But if we could just make a little impact, and like you told us last year when we interviewed you, or last time we interviewed you, that we can help lower the crime rate, even a percentage, I'll take it. You know, but anyway, Saturday, the prayer walk, 12 noon at the Pathmark Mall, 174th Street and Longfellow Avenue. You definitely want to be there. Please come early and hook up with us. Otherwise, you can follow us on Twitter. We'll try to let you know where we're at. That's a good idea,
follow
right?
us on.
I'll keep you updated on Twitter and say this is where we're at. Go to @RapFest Radio on Twitter. We'll let you know what street we're on, what corner we're on, in case you're showing up late. Then, on Friday, August 10th, we have the night before Rap Fest service. This year we're doing it at Sanctuary Fellowship Church.
Yeah.
We have Pastor Jacob Bert from the Fuel Student Conference is going to be our guest speaker. Yes. People are very excited to have him here in New York. You know, he always does the big conferences out of Jersey. The youth love it. I know that the youth leadership from our church went to the conference, and all they do is brag about how awesome his speaking is. And I'm hoping he busts a little freestyle, Mr. White Chocolate. That's how you call himself.
Chocolate blanco.
Café con leche and white chocolate. Oh man, it's on. You better be there ready. You better be there ready. But that's going to be on Friday, the night before Rap Fest, August 10th at Sanctuary Fellowship, which is 1469 St. Peter's Avenue in the Bronx, 7 p.m. You can go to rapfestinc.com to get those details. J. Cruz Project is going to be ministering there in song, as well as Logos Rhema, who we had on the show right before we took that one break.
2 weeks ago,
Logos Rhema is going to be ministering, and like I said, Pastor Jacob Bert. So we just hope you guys could join us there. A lot of artists are actually going to be in town this year. I'm hoping they actually make it to the event, because some of them are booked to do different things, so it should be cool. Then, of course, on August 11th, Rap Fest 2012 at the Pathmark Mall from 12 noon to 8 p.m., a free outdoor event. Is going to be off the hook. Many artists, they're all on the flyer. 2 Edge, Big Rand, Big Nick, everybody big. David Michael, Disciple, Big Freestyle Fan, Big Fro Wonder, Big Blab of the Voice.
Big.
Everybody.
Why are you Big Nick?
Hey, that's the thing.
Serve a big God, but you small.
Well, how do you know?
No, I don't know. Those guys are big. I looked up Big Nick. Big Nick Crenshaw, I see you.
Yep. But anyway, check out the flyer. Go online, check out the flyer. We're looking forward to a very exciting event. It's our 19th year. Nikki Cruz is our guest speaker. K-Drama and the Rep are special guests, musically speaking. The Rep from Arizona. K-Drama.
I said Nikki Cruz is ready, man.
K-Drama's from
Ohio.
Yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio. I always say Cincinnati. I always think of that concert he did at the Cincinnati Reds stadium. It was crazy.
Well, this is bringing it back home for Nick.
Nicky's
coming back to his roots over here.
Nicky's New York. New York. So he's excited. He's like, you know, he's been telling other people about Rap Fest.
And think about the areas he do. So last time he did Arthur Avenue in East Tremont. Right there by Toronto Park. That
right
was
there
huge.
by the
and now where we're at too. That's not
the
joke.
methadone rehab lab. Like, not methadone lab.
No, there's a community organization. I actually worked for them. That's the organization I was working for.
Oh, okay. So
for the lab, he was working for the lab.
That explains everything. That explains it all. Wow, we're in trouble.
But yeah, that's.
Wow.
Him coming back to New York is really exciting for us as well.
Yeah.
And keep us in prayer even from now. We're looking to do something really big for next year because it's our 20th anniversary.
Yes.
We're looking for a good spot. We're going to speak to Mr.
They need to move that into a venue, a park or something, man. Huge.
That's what we're gonna do. We're believing in that.
And get a blimp too.
A blimp. Oh,
there you go, in Jesus' name.
See, I like the way you think, man. That's why we have Pastor Bauza here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pastor Bauza of Calvary Church.
Put the big there.
Big Pastor Bauza.
Big Pastor Bauza.
I gotta get the applause.
Café con leche.
Café con leche.
That you only get on the drop of the dice.
Taza grande.
I don't do that too often.
Taza grande.
No sugar. But Pastor Bauza from Calvary Church, he's been a big supporter of Rap Fest. Even before we partnered with the church to do Rap Fest at the mall, he's somehow been involved, and people from Calvary have been involved, and we always appreciate that. And Triple J Audio, who did sound for Rap Fest last year, and doing sound for us this year.
They come out of there, Calvary.
They're from Calvary Church. So, we're really appreciative of all the support and help we get from you. But talk to us a little bit. Tell us what's been going on.
Well, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing and an honor to be once again with you guys. There's just so many things going on since last year, since we spoke last year and we were on with you on Rap Fest Radio. God has been doing some tremendous things in our area, in our church. Rap Fest left an impression in our area.
Oh, amen.
Big time impression. And we're hoping that this year something greater happens, because as you hear in the news already, the violence is getting it's
out of control.
Out of control. And I was just addressing this with the church on Sunday yesterday, that I was confronted by one of the police of our neighborhood, and one of the police officers came to me and we're talking, and they're not religious. They were just saying that in the last few weeks there's been a spike with the violence, and also they're not believers. And I'm not saying anything about the movie that just came out with Batman.
No, go ahead.
But when that movie came out and all these violence, the violence sparked where that guy started killing everybody. They're trying to associate the movie with what's going on in the violence in the area, with the spike of violence. And this officer was saying, "Listen, I'm not religious. I'm not telling you anything spiritual, nothing. I'm just saying is that since the movie came out, there's been a spike in violence in this area like never before." Wow. Now, I don't know if anyone wants to look deeper into that or give the movie a bad reputation, but the fact is that something has happened in the last few weeks. In the last few weeks in the Bronx or nationwide, there's been a spike in something. But I was reading in the Bible also last night that the Bible says that when sin abounds that way, when sin is rampant, grace abounds even more.
Amen.
There's more of anointing, of a movement that God is about to shift something. And what it is just the enemy right now is just throwing everything he got now at the youth. This is the time to reach out to them, grab them, take them down. And as the enemy is doing this, now Rap Fest is coming into the place and bringing in the light. So there's gonna be, there's a shifting going on, but there's also, I believe that with the spike of violence, God is also gonna spike up the church, man, and lift up the church, raise the church in these days to do something, counteract that.
Amen. Yeah, because it's been crazy. By the way, naturally, our hearts and prayers go out with all
absolutely
the
to the families
affected in Colorado, as well as all these other senseless, random shootings and stuff that's going on. The last one in Brooklyn is supposedly settling beef between gangs, and people in the middle get caught up in it. So it's just it's out of control. I mean, if we could just say stop and make it stop, I'd scream it if I could.
We were at a press conference with the family with the young 4-year-old kid that got shot in the basketball court.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a reconciliation game day they had, or a family day that they were doing on that day. That was like to make a truce. And look, a shootout broke out and they killed a little kid. So you can imagine that what's going on is crazy as bananas out there.
And there was one at Rucker Park too, right?
In that area where we're doing Rap Fest, that 174th Street area, the projects across the bridge, what's the violence like in that area? And what impact do you hope that we make as a ministry that day and Saturday when we do the prayer walk?
Well, the fact is this, that the police have labeled the area where the mall is a high impact area for gang violence. Hoe Avenue and Vice Avenue, where I suggest that God belongs in my city, God belongs in the city, but he belongs on Hoe Avenue and Vice Avenue.
We actually had plans,
and they need to stay there. They don't need to go.
You're moving to the Bronx.
You don't need to leave. You need to march and stay on that block, and Hoe Avenue and Vice Avenue. Stay there on 174 and 173. Stay right there. Don't move. Just stay right there, and you will see where it's all coming from. The fact that when we got to Calvary in 2006, I was telling you last year, crime was at about 87% in our area. You couldn't leave the church without ducking, without looking behind your shoulder, and we went out to the streets. We did movie nights, as we're doing this year. Every Wednesday's movie night.
That's awesome.
Fridays we're going outside with our services, and we started doing that on a constant. And when the people started seeing the church out there, We were praying out there. We were marching out there. We would go in at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, to do a silent walk in the area, and people seeing that, and we anointed the park with oil, and they used to do cut chickens and kill chickens in the park, and we started praying over the park, and the park was freed from all of that stuff. There was a change and an impact on Longfellow. That's where we're at. That's on Longfellow. Naturally, we were not able to go up the hill yet. We just focused on Longfellow for that period of time, and Longfellow's crime dropped dramatically. There's hardly anything going on Longfellow. Now, there is a spark of in the last year and a half, of violence coming from Hoe Avenue and Vice Avenue, which is the area where there's a boys club. And in that boys club, you have about 1,200 youth that go there under the age of 17. It is a fact that that is the breeding ground. I'm not saying anything negative against the boys clubs, because they're doing their work and positive, absolutely, trying to reach out to the kids, give them something to do. But with the lack of supervision there is outside of the location, once that boys club shuts its doors and there's nothing to do, these guys are there, and it's a breeding ground for the gangs. So you got the Bloods, you got the Crips, you got the Nietas, and you got the Latin Kings in the area. I was just telling the story to the church, right, Jose? That we were, it was in Little Caesars, right? Little Caesars? I was in Little Caesars getting pizza. Was it in Little Caesars? Yeah. Oh, right there, no more. We were doing something, and we were talking, and I saw this guy looking at us while we were talking, and I started raising my voice and saying, yeah, you know, church is full of phony people. And I said it nice and loud because I saw that he was looking my direction. And that kind of caught his attention. And as we're talking, he joins into the conversation, and he agrees. He agrees with all that. Right. And we're talking about the church like that. And then I say, you know, church got to do something, man. You know, the church has got to go out there in the street, and they got to show the people, because, you know, if the church is active, man, there's no more drugs on the street. There's no more this. There's no more that. And he was like, wait a minute. No. That's interfering into my business. I don't need the church out there like that. That's, you know, I said that, well, there's a church across the street that's bumping. They're coming out to the street and they're doing it. And when the church does that, things change. And his reaction was a negative one, because this was his domain, his area. Right. And after we started talking, I told him, I said, no, man, brother, the church needs to go out there and change lives. That's what we're all about, changing lives. And he was like, no, that's detrimental to my business here. And right before we left, I told him, I said, what's your name? And he says, my name is John, King John, that's his name, King John. And I realized that the Latin Kings, and he showed the beads, because he had the beads on, and it's King John, because in that gang, the ranks are, is that what they are? And I said, well, great, man, nice meeting you. My name is Pastor Bauza. I'm the pastor from across the street. And I told him, I said, we're going to be out here. And he actually challenged us. He said, I look forward to seeing you guys out here, but it ain't going to happen. Don't think you're going to do what you want to do, because it ain't happening. So it was a challenge. And I told the church, guys, we just got challenged. If this is what it is, then we gotta do something. Absolutely. So we got about 3 woo-woos in church. Everybody else was like, I'm not coming. Who are you guys? This ain't the supermarket. So it was like I told the church what happened with this guy called King John, and I told him, I said, well, you know, it is what it is, and if that's how you feel, then, you know, so be it. But we'll be outside and we'll do it. And we immediately, without any permits, without any type of help or assistance from the police or anybody, we went and took over the park last week, and we said, you know what, let's just forget it. Let's just go out there and do it. And we did the movie night, and we're going to do a service now, and we're going to start moving in there and say, you know what, forget it. I ain't waiting no more. Small one, right? Yeah, we just got to go out there and get ourselves out there, because if this is what's out there, this is what those youth are facing, the church is in for a battle. Right. Is in for a battle, especially if you're going to call yourself an outreach church. If you're going to call yourself a church that's an outreach church, a church that's going to go out there, you're going to have to go through things that other churches will never go through. Right. And as I tell everybody, and I work I'm a activist. I call myself an activist, community activist. I work with the senator in a lot of events with the clergy, the Hispanic clergy. And I tell everybody, I am the pastor of the community. I'm not a pastor in my community. I'm the pastor of my community. And that's what I push that all over the place, everywhere I go. And in being a pastor of the community, you're going to have to be willing to face these gang leaders head on. Sure. You're going to have to be willing to face the threats head on. You're not going to be able to show fear, because that's what they bank on, your fear. And to answer your question, in our area, the crime that occurs in my area, in Longfellow, down here, starts up the hill. Yeah. And they chase the person down, and they catch them down in the corner, and they either kill them, they shoot them. Just a couple of weeks ago, and I get reports from the police. They send me reports every time there's a shooting or something happens. If they need my assistance to go with them to a home, I will do that. But they send me notices of what's going on in my neighborhood. We had 2 girls, not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago, 2 girls were outside playing around, and there was a shootout, and the 2 girls got shot. They shot them. Another kid who, this was just fresh, the kid, his name was Nino. I'm going to leave it like that, no last name. Sure. Nino, from across the street from our church. They have the area broken down to gangs. They have the Whole Avenue gang, they got the Vice Avenue gang, they got the Longfellow gang.
Now, are these like within the same gang?
Yeah, no, these are separate gangs. Separate from each other. Separate gangs involved in the area. Now, what happens is, in the outreaches we were doing, across the street, directly across the street from us, there is a building, and you can't go into the mall without seeing that building in front of us. Right. We go out there all the time with food and clothing, and we do our services, and we impacted a family from that building that started coming to our church.
Okay.
What happens? They come into our church, they're touched, they're blessed, things start happening. What happens? There is a killing that occurred a couple of months ago, right up on Whole Avenue. There was a murder that occurred, and it happened with a guy inside of a hallway who got shot in the head. They didn't know who did it. They didn't know nothing about it. We get a phone call, and I'm with Jose and some others. We get a phone call from the grandmother who attended our church, who lives across the street, to say that her grandson Nino is involved in that shooting, but he wants to turn himself in. But he wants to do it at the church. He doesn't want to go to the precinct. He doesn't want to go to the... He wants to come to our church and turn himself in. Now, I say, what in the world happened that caused this? What happened was that Nino was in our service the Sunday before. The word went out, impacted his life, touched him. Right. And then it started making conscience. I mean, we had a service that I was wondering what in the world's going on in this service and in the message that's happening. And it caused a conscience in him to work, where not even 4 or 5 days later, he's saying, you know what? I gotta turn myself in. Wow. And he was the one who did the crime. And he came to the church. We sat with him. Before we called the cops, we counseled with him. My associate pastor, Bienvenido, came. We prayed for him. We were there with him. Another friend of his came from the same gang, came over and sat there with him. And I told him, I said, you ready for this? Are you ready? We're going to call the police, and we're going to have them come by. And I called the community affairs, and I told them what was going on, and they patched me through to the right people. As soon as I mentioned the name, they said, is he armed? I said, I don't think he is, because he's armed and dangerous. He's wanted for murder. So here I am saying, I got me a murderer in my temple right now, sitting in my office.
Chilling with you.
And he's talking with me, and here I am with Bienvenido, is hugging him, is telling him, it's going to be all right, brother. We have no idea what this guy did other than he just wanted to turn himself in.
Right.
So when the police came, and they're there, they're asking me, they're interviewing me, they're saying, what is it? How did you do this? Because we've been after this guy for a while already. He's part of the Longfellow gang. We've been after him. How did you get this? How did you make this happen? And I said, I have no idea. We just impacted his family. We did a service. He obviously attended my service. And the catch to all of this, and Jose's here he can verify this, is that a lot of these gangs that they're looking for are guys who come into my church service, who sit there silently. In fact, we had there was a service that you came to that you were freestyling in, that you I don't know what was service. We had like a service like that. There was some rappers that came in.
Youth night, was it?
It was a youth night, something like that. They came in that they were giving out the Red Bulls. Remember?
Right. That was the night before Rap Fest.
That was the night before Rap Fest.
That was the night before Rap Fest last year.
Well, in there was guys from the Longfellow gang in that service. They were there.
Okay.
Sitting there. In my normal youth nights, there will be guys that sit there by themselves, and when they're sitting by themselves, those are some of the guys from the community. They come into the church. They see what the church is doing. And this guy, when Nino walked in, he goes, "Hey Rev, how are you?" And he knows who I am. But he's a guy that they're going after. He's a guy that they're looking for. He's a guy who just committed a murder. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that the church is there to impact the area.
Amen.
But crime is going rampant. Crime is going bananas there. But the church needs to stand up and do something because it does work. The gospel does work.
Absolutely. And the same thing, I think of churches like Jehovah Shammah International Ministries.
Yeah.
Pastor Jose Cruz.
No.
What's his name? Jose? It's Jose.
It's his name. His first name is Jose.
Anyway, I'm thinking of New Birth. But the pastor there, he had a service for the Latin Kings.
Oh yeah.
Where they were all invited. That's on DVD. I have the DVD somewhere. You gotta see it.
And even in the night before Rap Fest, we had
when we did Rap Fest with that church,
they were all on the wall.
They were all lined up against the wall, and Pastor says, "I got security for you for Rap Fest." I said, "Oh, great! Who? All these guys here? They're gonna volunteer." I said, "Oh, that's awesome. They're from the Latin Kings."
I'm good.
That's awesome.
Security in the park.
That was our security in the park. They didn't want nobody near us. They were like, "We got you. Don't worry. I got 3 guys here. That's all we need. We're good." But I think it's a cry out from the community,
absolutely, saying
we need help, and the church is really the only one that can help. Absolutely. Everybody else is going to be quick to judge, and others are going to be scared.
And the sad thing is, to me, the saddest part of all of this is that the community is crying out, and churches are so involved within the walls, because you're not the only church in that neighborhood.
No, we have 9 other churches in the area.
In the surrounding area. Yeah. And they're so
into themselves.
If anybody gets offended, too bad. But they're so into themselves and so Holy Spirit filled, and the Holy Spirit dropping within their own 4 walls, and that's fine. That's beautiful. But what you're going to do when that Holy Spirit drops and that anointing drops? You leave it within the 4 walls? No, you take that anointing, you take that power fill that the Holy Spirit fills you with, and you open the doors and you take that out. Because that's what happened in Acts. What happened? The Holy Spirit fell, and did they keep it within the walls? No, they all went out, and they took that anointing, that empowerment that the Holy Spirit had given them, and they went out. But we're doing the opposite. We're in, revival, and we're keeping revival in the door. You know what revival is? Is bringing back to life. What are you bringing back to life?
Yeah, I totally agree with you in that. We went almost bankrupt the first year that we started pastoring, because our Sunday services were all outside every week. We were outside on Sundays in the park, and when you do that, people don't give as they normally give. Pastors do never listen. It is very difficult for you to get a pastor to lock his church up on a Sunday, because he's relying on those tithes and those offerings to come in. But you got to put in the balance. What's more important? Is that life more important than your tithe and your offering? Money can always be replaced and can always come back, but can that person be replaced? Can that person ever come back from something that you were called to reach out to them? And so, unless they have a heart for outreach, I would say that a lot of the churches out there, or the leadership of the churches, if they don't have a heart for outreach, they should not get involved directly. They should get involved indirectly, such as help Rap Fest, help pastors that are going out there into the street to do something. Right. Because if you don't have a heart or a passion for the souls, and you're going to try to go out there, you're going to flop. It's going to flop on you, because you're going to lose money. This is why people, you could leave it there. This is why people don't want to do outreach, because they say there's no money in it. Because they're looking at it as, what can they get out of it? There's no money in it. It's a waste of money. You're wasting money, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. You're wasting into something that you may not get the return monetarily. You may not get it.
Right.
But it's a passion, and you got to be passionate for what you're going to do.
You know, we had a conversation the other day with a couple of us, and we were talking about Rap Fest. Oh man, it'd be nice if we do it in an arena, we do it in the stadium or whatever. And I think I told Eli, I said, I'm going to stand, firm on my word that I gave 18 or 17 years ago, a couple of years after doing Rap Fest. But it wasn't at the beginning, I had no clue. So like, after doing it a couple of years, I said, I love what I'm doing, to impact lives and to impact souls out here in the street. I love it. And I promise, the day we charge to do a Rap Fest, I'm out.
Close it up.
I'm done, because it's not about that. Many people have even asked, oh, why don't you get such and such artist to come out here and minister? He's so awesome. Why don't you get this one to come out? And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for one guy to fly in and do 10 songs to bless a bunch of Christians that are going to get blessed Sunday morning anyway. I want a bunch of local, quote unquote, nobodies that have a passion and heart for doing this.
Make them pack up the Sundays.
To bless and impact those people that are out here in the streets that never heard the gospel before, to go knocking on Calvary Church. When is your next service? You go knocking on Sanctuary. When can I come back in? What else is there for me? How do I explore this God you're talking about? I told him, just at my old age, I guess, I'm getting tired of church entertainment is done.
Yeah.
Church entertainment is done. There's kids getting shot. What good is it if you have the best rapper in the world inside your church for $20 a ticket? These dudes are killing for $5. They're not going to pay $20 to hear the gospel. And we Christians, bottom line, we're cheap. We're not going to pay $20 to bring an unsaved person to church. We won't put it in the offering. We're not going to put it in somebody else's pocket.
That's true. We have two congregations, Bert. I have one congregation inside the four walls. And then when we go outside, we have another congregation, and those are the drunks.
Yeah.
The gangs, the gang members, the alcoholics, the drug addicts that are out there. Because every time we go outside, those are the ones that want to help us clean up the park. They're the ones that want to help us set up.
They help give out flyers.
When we Rap Fest last year, we had the African American guy smoking a blunt, handing out Rap Fest flyers.
He was a taxi
cab driver.
There you go.
He said, "Yeah, I just want to help, man." He was puffing his blunt. Here's some flyers. Go give them out.
That's my second congregation.
Yeah.
That's the one that gives me the energy to look at things and say it's worth it. When you see one of those people, regardless if they ever come back into my church, regardless if they come in and they accept the Lord in my church and they want to become a member, the fact that we go outside, they know who we are, that they recognize it, that they come to you and say, please pray for me, please keep me in your prayers. It's worth it.
Absolutely. You made an impact.
It's worth it.
You made an impact.
It's worth it.
And speaking of making an impact for our viewers, I mean, we're going straight through the show. I'll play a song at the end. Because we're almost done anyway, so it doesn't matter. Give us a quick rundown of your involvement in the community. I know you mentioned really quick in passing, you work with the Senate or whatever, but I know that since last year's Rap Fest to now, God has placed you in other strategic positions and roles within the community that make sense for the kind of work you're doing as a church. And also, as you explain that, explain how you're able to separate both the political aspect of it and the church aspect. Because as soon as somebody hears that a pastor's involved in a community thing, they're like, oh.
Activists. When they hear the word activist,
I'm done.
The worldly. Well, what's happened is that I believe that depending on where God situates you at, and what is it that you have to do in your purpose, God will guide your path and bring you the key people who are going to open doors for you.
Right.
So, being that we're an outreach church, this is where, for example, Jose will play a role in our church. Jose will play a role because he's the one that will manage all the equipment, all the sound. You need somebody who's savvy in that area.
Amen. J Audio.
Triple J Audio. And what happens is that God will bring him into your circle. Since last year, I became director of the Children's Day Parade, which is an event of the evangelical church, and it's a parade that's done every year, and it reaches hundreds and hundreds of churches but it influences thousands of kids that are in these parades. And you have an opening, a door open to be able to minister to these kids in different levels. And so that is an impact there. I started working with the senator more hand in hand in the political aspect of what's happening with the elections and getting to know what's going on in the news when it comes to politics. But what I've done is I've taken that knowledge and used it to my avail in the church. Because there are things that are happening in politics, there are things that are happening out there in society that are going to affect the church. And for years have affected the church, but the church has been silent because they don't know. They've been silent because they say, well, those things are going to happen anyway, so nobody can stop it, so why do anything about it? But they're never informed. You tell them, tell me who's the person that's in charge right now, who's the person that's leading right now, what's the main topic that's going on? They can't tell you nothing because they don't know. And so I think that the church has been silent because of the lack of knowledge. And if they start yapping, they start talking, you're going to see the lack of knowledge in what they're saying. Because they're only talking based on what they heard from somebody else and not something that they learned themselves. So they're like, oh no, you know, that being a politician is from the devil and everything. Where you get that from? You got that from who? Who said that? Who said that in the past that you actually believe that? It is not from the devil. It's just keeping yourself informed with what's going on in society. Now, I reach my community because I know what's going on in my community. I reach my community because I work on the board of the 42nd Police Precinct Community Board. I'm on there with them. So I'm there every month in the meetings. I'm hearing what's going on. I'm hearing from...
And you get to voice...
I get to voice my concerns. I hear the concerns of the storekeepers, the tenants of the different buildings of the area. Whenever there's issues, I'm there. My ears are open. I work with the borough president's office, and I hear the stuff that's happening in the South Bronx, how the South Bronx is building itself and coming up and coming. It's incredible. So I've been able since last year to position myself in the community in a place where nothing can really happen without me knowing. So I'm constantly informed that exactly what's going on and by whom and what's happening. Where I draw my strength from is that we are a community church. So therefore the people see me in those meetings and they recognize me as the pastor of the neighborhood where they're from. Amen. Awesome. And that helps because when they associate that, they see that we're not a church of the four walls, like your wife was saying, but that we're a church outdoors. Right. So we're taking it outside to
literally them. A community.
Literally. We're a community church. Definitely, we're a community church. So that's what we've been doing since last year. So God has opened up some great doors in the arena of politics and also as an activist church. I tell the church, I'm not a politician. Though a description of a politician is someone who can cause influence on an idea and bring you to my influence. That's a politician. I tell them we're an activist church. I'm an activist. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to stand up for what the church believes, what our principles are, and I'm going to fight that. Right. We may lose it, but at least I know that I did my part in letting you know. And one of the scriptures in the Bible that motivate me and should be a motivation for a lot of people is when God spoke to Ezekiel. And he said, Ezekiel, I'm going to send you to a house that's very hard of service. I'm going to send you to a people who don't want to hear you. But this is the catch. You are going to preach to them. If you don't preach to them and they die in their sin, I'm going to call the blood on you.
Yep, it's on you.
But if you go and you preach to them and they die in their sin, I'm going to save you from their blood. So the thing is with God is He rather you do it even though they may not listen. We still got to go out there and do it. And that's what we've been doing all year long. Since last year, we've been going out there. We've been doing our parts. And yes, it's been hard. It's been difficult. But you know what? The church is at the mode and at the place where if we don't do it, no one else is doing it. We got 9 churches in my area and they're all silent. Nobody's doing anything. So we got to do it. We got to go outside. So they'll call me crazy. They'll call me whatever. How could you go out there? You're losing money. You're doing this. Exactly. We're losing financially or physically some stuff as we go. but look at the gain. What happens if one of them gets saved?
Exactly.
The Bible shows that there was one man in the stoning of Stephen. They brought his clothes and they put him at the feet of this man. Who knew that later on that man was going to become Paul in the Bible? Who knew that the person's life that you're going to change is going to be that one person that God is going to cause a revival into the area? Who knew that Nicky Cruz, a bum, gang member, a gangster, a nobody,
a bum.
I was never a bum.
Never a bum, but well, look, here's a guy that who knew? But David Wilkerson took the step, went out there, spoke to him.
If he would have never faced him,
and changed that man's life. And look at him today.
Yeah. And that's how we have to approach it. I mean, as we go into Rap Fest this, next week, that's how I tell even the artists. You got to approach it. You don't know who's there. I say that in any event.
It's not just an event.
It's not just an event. It's not just a show. I couldn't care less if you had the best rapper or the worst rapper. It's the content. What are you bringing? Why are you bringing? How sincere are you with this message that's coming out?
Yeah.
Because that's what makes a difference. We can have Rap Fest with 2 groups. We're good. We don't need 23 groups. I like it because now the neighborhood that doesn't understand what we're doing, they're like a little more intrigued. Like, there's a lot of you guys. Like, what's going on? I want to know. But I think we're excited to make an impact in this neighborhood, and we're looking to reach other neighborhoods as well as we move forward. And I know that God has strategically placed you in different places so we can get a nice big spot for next year's Rap Fest. I'm sorry, se metió.
Saying though.
It's all right. We could do it in Crotona Park. St. Mary's Park, Crotona's Park.
Well, Crotona Park is brilliant. Well, that's where we almost got it last time, and then this guy went to Staten Island. Yeah, and we ain't doing Rap Fest in Staten Island. That's a long haul.
No, we could do it. We could do it there. We need it. You know who impacted my life greatly, and I think is a great example of what Rap Fest is about. That gentleman from last year that passed away.
Oh, Brian Smith.
The why?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, that guy is the picture in my mind whenever we think of Rap Fest of what it's all about. Because that guy came in with his CDs and he was giving them out to everybody, just giving them away. He came to an event of ours, a youth event, and he was giving them out. And he was like, "You don't even have to give me nothing. Just take it, man." It was just, be blessed. And it was like, wow. And those CDs were going into kids' hands and stuff like that. And that was his mission, to get his word out to the souls. And he didn't care whether he got money for it or not. He didn't care. He didn't even care how he was going to get home.
Yeah.
He was like, whatever.
He was, from the time we met him, I think I have to say the story because we've been talking about him. We were at a Rap Fest, pre-Rap Fest concert in White Plains, a Rap Fest concert series in White Plains. These 2 girls came all the way from Brooklyn in the cab, whatever. We call them taxi girls now, but they're like part of what we do all the time. And they came out there in a cab because they couldn't get a ride or whatever. They didn't want to miss the event. Randomly, I was like, hey, if anybody out there lives in Brooklyn, want to give them a ride home, no hesitation. He raised his hand. He didn't know what part of Brooklyn. I'll take them, no problem. He took them. They became really good friends, and ministry-wise. We did the Rap Fest concert. We did another Rap Fest concert. No, we did the Bread Factory. And Brian Smith was confirmed to DJ. He had an operation in his foot, or he had a procedure had to be done on his foot. He tells the doctors, here's the deal. You can do whatever you have to on my foot. I can't stay in the hospital. I have an event that I'm committed to for Friday night. I'm like, Brian, you crazy. Take care of yourself. He said, I'm good. I could walk. He came limping with his cast.
There you go.
He went up on stage. He said, Bert, I'm in pain, but I was committed to do this.
There you go.
And I'm going to do it. I wouldn't leave you down, let you down, or your youth, whatever. He rocked, by the way. It was incredible. He even joined the dance battle with his cast. Crazy. Cool. We go to do the prayer walk for Rap Fest last year, and naturally we invite all artists, and I'm not talking about any artist. Whoever can make it, but it's an open invitation. He comes early in the morning, all the way from Brooklyn, with his cane and limping, and he does the prayer walk with us. He stayed till the very end. He was the first one there, stayed till the end, and he was praying with people and rapping.
That's what it's all about.
And also, then we invited him to the event.
No, but didn't he go to the Urban Youth too, right?
Oh, right. He did the Urban Revolution as well. And that was also a last minute thing. That was the same day. After the prayer walk, we said we're going over there, and all of us went to support him. And he rocked there as well. You know, with his cast, you know, limping around. It was incredible. But then we booked him for one of your youth things that in the park. And then he came out and he did that. No questions asked. I mean, but that's when you say you have a passion for what you do.
Exactly.
And you have more in mind than just I want to sell a CD.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about that. And a lot of times, you know, the artists, you know, there's artists that have that mentality. Hey, how many CDs you think I could sell at Rap Fest? Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's say you can't sell any. Well, you still come.
Well, I just asked this, and this is going to help me in my area. In the last year, we've been going on radio also. We have the program on Radio Vision.
All right, I got to go to Sunday nights, right?
Sunday night. This Sunday, you come in this Sunday.
I am.
Yeah, you're going to be with me this Sunday on the radio.
Sunday, what time?
On Radio Vision at 10 o'clock. 10 p.m. to 11 is an hour on the radio.
I'm off the following Monday, right? No, I'm off the Monday.
6th? Yeah.
This Sunday coming.
Yeah,
perfect. That's absolutely.
You're off Sunday?
Yeah.
No,
the
Sunday night. I'm off the following week.
Well, just so you know that Radio Vision, at any given moment, you're reaching 22 million people at any given moment, because of how big it expanded. And I've been working with them also since last year, working with the directive over there. Tomorrow I'm going to be on a marathon with them from 9 to 12 in the morning. So that's another thing that got open the doors. But going back to what you were saying, is that what will help me greatly is that you would project the message that you guys care. Absolutely. People in my area, the gangs, the youth that are in my area, the people are not going to care unless they feel that the church cares.
You know, and I'm sorry, working in that area for 3.5 years, I mean, on Hunts Point side, just dealing with the clients that are looking for work, you'd see them respond to you when you show them that you care about them.
You gotta care.
You know, if for me to get them to understand that I was helping them and realize that I cared about how they presented themselves, you saw the response, and it was more of a soft, open response, like, wow, someone wants to help me. Someone cares that even though he has a job, I need the job, and he's going to help me do what it takes.
Right.
You know, and that is that community.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in the church in that community, that's what you saw.
Right.
You know, walking outside, you see the fights or whatever. You know, we used to get involved and see a lot of fights outside in that area.
Yeah.
And we knew people, and we would be like, you know, come on, let's relax. You know, and that is the biggest thing.
Last year we were blessed with a lot of good feedback from the prayer team, Gretchen and Sigfrido and all of them that were at the prayer team, that they had those encounters with people in the neighborhood that were crying. They just went up to them and hugged them and said, hey, we got you. You know, whatever you need, we'll pray for whatever you need. We'll help you with whatever you need. And you know, and we had the stuffed animals we were giving the kids, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're giving us this stuff." But they did a good job with that. And this year we had a meeting recently with the prayer teams from a couple of churches that are going to be joining us, and explaining to them that this is our mission. Yeah. It's not Sanctuary Fellowship neighborhood, so we're not winning souls for my church. You know, and some of the people on the prayer team are not nowhere related to Calvary Church, so we're not looking to get souls for our church. We're just getting souls for the kingdom. Your church happens to, by default, be the one there, so naturally we're gonna send most people there.
And that's fine. Even if they don't come, it's fine too with us, because our outreaches are not that we just want numbers, we want members.
Yeah, but I'm saying for follow-up and discipleship. For follow-up and discipleship, they need a solid church that they can grow in.
Now, I tell you a secret. For God belongs in my city, people that are coming out to pray. Some of these people out there, they can pray with the best of them. Why? Because they used to be saved. Mm-hmm. They were part of a church. That's another thing in my area. You got a lot of people that are lost, but they blame the church for hurting them and throwing them out. So you got a lot of outcasts in my area that used to be believers. And that's why when you praying with them, they're also mumbling with themselves. Mm-hmm. Yes, Lord, you know, and they praying with you because they know you quote scriptures to them, they're going to quote scriptures back. And a lot of the times when you see them sarcastic and angry, it's not that they're really sarcastic and angry because they don't like you. Right. It's just that they're going through so much, and the pain.
Right. They had that experience.
And that's why I told you last year I took out the word Pentecostal from Calvary Church. Because it used to be called Iglesia Pentecostal, El Calvario, Pentecostal Church, Calvary. I took it out because of the stigma behind it, because when people saw that, they were like, I'm not stepping foot in there. So I just left it as Calvary Church. No name of who's the pastor, that's not important. Who's who in there, it's not important. It's just the church. Come in and get your life changed. That's our message we project, because, again, when you guys go out there to the street, you're going to see a lot of people saying, you know, hey, we pray too. Mm-hmm. I'm Christian too. And they got a bottle in their hand. I'm Christian too. because they all have that seed planted in them.
Right.
But then, you know, at some point, you know, the church messed up and threw a lot of them out.
And that's why I'm so excited for the prayer walk. You know, you guys will be there, you know, especially you. I mean,
and be yourselves. Be yourselves.
Yeah, because that's your community. So people will see us rallying behind you. I'm hoping that it'll also give some strength and add more weight to the words that maybe you've preached to some people that have just slipped right through their ears. Like, yeah, whatever. You know, now they see you with a whole group of people praying. They're like, you know what? Let me pay more attention next time he talks to me, because this guy was real. Even not that they don't say you're not real or whatever, but you know, I think there's strength in numbers. And when they see that you're not alone, and there's a group of supporters as well that care enough to come from different neighborhoods and pray for this, that's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, I think we should get Channel 12 involved. I think we should call them up and tell them to come out and see something different. Now that they're projecting such negative news in the Bronx, and just have Channel 12 show up, and some of the local stations show up and tell them, listen, let's do this. And maybe they can come out. You know, we're doing now also, we're recording also for Access TV for BronxNet, and we're doing that also. But I think that a call to Channel 12 and let them know, listen, we have a prayer walk. They say, what? You know, you want breaking news? This is breaking news, because that's something that you don't see often in our area.
Right, especially now. Now with all the crime.
With all this stuff, yeah.
There's a lot to do, people. There's a lot to do. We can't do it alone. I mean, we're only 3 guys sitting here. You know, even if we put our whole teams together and came up with 100 people, it's still not enough. No. We could hopefully impact a small neighborhood.
And you guys do it for a day and leave. I gotta stay there.
Right,
I'm there all year long.
But you know, and that's
those people.
You know, but that's
we deal with them all year. You guys leave, and I stay behind. But I'm blessed because, again, the passion that there is, man, for those souls, man.
Absolutely, and that's what I tell people. You know, don't be fooled by the fact that you're only on stage for 15 minutes. That's a trick for me to get more solid Christians out there to witness to these guys that are in the crowd. You know, you're 15 minutes on stage. You don't have time for that one-on-one interaction. When you come off the stage, that's when you get an opportunity to say, hey, brother, I saw you bobbing your head to the music. You're feeling it? Blah, blah, blah. Let's talk. Let's interact. Oh, you don't have a church? Can we pray for you about something? About, you know, what do you need? How can we help you? What kind of resources? And now you're plugged in with even so much more resources in the community that's going to be really helpful for them. You know, they may not even know that some of the resources that are out there exist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of times, like I said, people see the church, they just think it's a place people go on Sundays and they leave.
And when they see that you care, they care.
Absolutely.
When they see you care, they care, and that's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all churches should live with that motto. You know, care.
Why? Yep.
You know, why not? Why not? We should. Hey, this is awesome. I know we went over by a few minutes, but I do want you to give us a quick rundown on Mr. Lovett, even though he wasn't here. But
Derek. You're going to be watching us. I know you're going to be watching us.
But I know you've spoken to him.
We were there, and as you were
extensively.
Yeah, and
I spoke with you guys on the phone that time.
We were on the phone with each other,
But I just want people to know where, you know, this is the president and CEO of Mid-Bronx Desperado.
He's the CEO of MBD. MBD is an entity within itself, incredible. They're the ones who revitalized the area where we're at.
Right.
And the housing area. And they got together many years ago when the Bronx was burning, literally on fire. They used to call the Bronx on fire. They came together, and MBD became Mid-Bronx Desperados because there was a group of people who they were considered the Desperados because they chained themselves to each other on the middle of the street, and they vowed not to move from there until some politician, somebody in the higher ups saw them and came to help them. And when they did that, they caused a chain reaction up the ladder that caused the government to look into the area. They started building houses and rebuilding the area, and it started coming up again. And that's why it's called MBD, Mid-Bronx Desperados. But they're the managing agent to a lot of the buildings of the area. They manage many. They have over 40 buildings. Wow. And they're the managing agent to those buildings. And Derek was just placed as a CEO just a few years ago. And Derek took a bankrupt entity and brought it right back up, even better than what was expected. And now he's doing over $30-40 million renovations, $100 million renovations in the buildings. he's doing a lot of things in the community also, and he loves the community. Every time I go with him, he's always telling me, Pastor, pray for me, and this guy is a Marine, and so he got that chunky body, you know, that way of being, that dynamic personality he carries with himself, and he's a guy that's all for this. He's for community, and he's doing his best in trying to project that positive word in the community. So, and Derek, if you're watching us, you know we missed you today. I love you, man. I miss you, and we'll be in touch. And he comes by every time he can to help us, and he's always saying, anything that you guys want to do, I'm there with you. I'll stand up there with you guys and whatever. And he's a guy that you will see him and you'll be like, for real? And yeah, for real. He's a guy that he loves God, he loves the Lord, he loves the church, and he's not a faithful churchgoer like you. He doesn't attend church 3 or 4 times a week. Right. But he's a guy who has a seed inside, and he does a lot of things that others wish they can do.
That's awesome.
You know, so he's a great guy overall, man. Yeah. So our prayers are with him and the family, and he's the one that set up all of this stuff too for us.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I was so excited to have him here, even though he's not here. Now this is perfect because now we can say, okay, now you got to come to Rap Fest and see it for yourself.
Yeah. Definitely,
he wasn't able to do it last year because he was away.
Yeah, he was away last year, but he goes on vacation towards these times when you do Rap Fest. But we're hoping that he can come. If not, I would suggest that what you should do is do like a little take the camera over to him, interview him and stuff, and then plug it in up on Rap Fest. So if he can't make it here, you get to catch him over there.
Yeah, maybe we get a roaming reporter to stop by his office.
There you go, right there.
There you go. You got a job. Look at it, right there. You're like the next guy. No, but that's good, man. We're excited, and actually we appreciate MBD and their pledge of support for what we're doing as well, because that helps us a lot. You know, it helps us a lot to know that where we are, we're not only there because we have a passion for doing this, but the people that manage and own these community properties want us there. You know, that's bigger than just barging in and saying we're coming in to do this. So we're really excited. We appreciate you for filling in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again. And I know this was a short notice of me showing up. I thought, you know, I wanted Derek here for you to pick his brain.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm looking for. Well, we'll still get a chance to do that, whether it be on air or off air.
Absolutely.
We'll get him.
We'll find you.
You're not going anywhere. We get you. We know where you live.
He knows where you live. I don't know.
And where you work.
And where you work. Right. We'll show up at his office.
There you go.
But we're excited again. People get excited about it. Rap Fest this Saturday is the prayer walk at 12 noon. We're going to meet at Calvary Church, 1010 East 174th Street. Or inside the Pathmark Mall at 174th Street and Longfellow Avenue. We'll be there.
Absolutely.
Be good. Get familiar with the neighborhood. We're going to go praying around the neighborhood, 1.5 mile walk.
2 and 5 train. 2 and 5 train. 36 bus that stops right in front of the church. 36 bus.
36 bus right there in front of the double parked cars. No, stop. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to it. You want to join us? All you have to do is show up. You don't have to call me. You don't have to register or anything. Just show up for the prayer walk, for the night before Rap Fest, and for Rap Fest. Just show up. Just be there. All the details are at rapfestinc.com. If you're a vendor and you're still looking to be a part of the vendors for Rap Fest 2012, you have till Friday to get your table situated. So please hit up rapfestinc.com as well. PayPal and information is there for you to do that. Any other announcement?
That's it.
All the details are up there. Now, what's going to happen next Monday? We have some of the groups that are going to be participating in Rap Fest are going to be here live on Rap Fest Radio. I don't know how many yet. So far, we confirmed like 2 or 3. So maybe we'll have more. But all the people that are participating in Rap Fest have been invited to be part of the broadcast. And actually, they're not all from New York. So we might have some guys on a phone call, and we're going to have some guys here live in the studio. So we'll be interviewing them and stuff like that as well. I think there's a question coming in.
Theo Bean.
Oh, there's my uncle. This man here, his name is Bean.
Theo Bean.
Theo Bean.
Theo Bean, bendición.
Bendición, Theo Bean. But I'll tell you something. He's the reason I'm doing radio.
Wow.
I was probably 9-10 years old. He had this old, I don't know, might be dating myself on this one right now. He had an old ham radio, underground CB type thing, Army radio. that used to break the airwaves and go on below channels. So you had to go to your radio and go to the S shortwave, and find his radio station. Yep. He had the big antenna on his roof. Radio Emba. We used to go there every Saturday. And
that's what they call Radio Vision.
He used to go there every Saturday and play old classics, and he had the radio voice, the whole. Aquí estamos, Radio Emba, and bam, the next time I saw him, whatever.
Cut people's frequencies.
Yeah, but I was always intrigued by that.
Wow.
And it's funny because last year I got a call from Theo Bing. He says, "You got to show me all this new technology. I'm lost." And he has a radio show now. It's not a Christian radio show, but it's a community show up there by Grand Concourse, the Fordham Road area.
He gets into
that he does, and he's all over the place. And he does stuff broadcast Puerto Rico. But Theo Bing, shout out. That's a big shout out.
Theo Bing in the morning.
Yep. Theo, in the afternoon.
Theo Bing por la tarde.
Yeah. Noticias Radio Emba, something like that. But shout out to my uncle for the support. But that's it for tonight, man. We're really excited. For those people that are seeing me here wondering why I'm not at the church, because I'm doing the show. We had a plan. But Vacation Bible School started today. 125 kids were registered to start. Last year we ended with 125. This year we started with 125.
Wow.
So who knows what we're gonna end
Even
with?
for a treat for the rest of the week.
Because last year we started with like 80 and ended with 125.
And then went up to the end.
So now we started with 125. Who knows what's gonna happen at the end? But I'm sure right now at Sanctuary Fellowship everybody's going crazy. And you can still bring your children to participate. It's from 6 to 9 in the evening. So if you work, you can still bring your child after work to there, and you can register them still.
Nice.
It's a free thing. You don't have to pay a dime, nothing. Everything is provided. All you have to do is be there and to drop them off and pick them up. We take care of the rest. So if you're not doing anything with your children this week, you get a little break in the evening. Bring them out. 6 to 9 Sanctuary Fellowship, 1469 St. Peter's Avenue. Follow us on Rap Fest Radio, and we'll be back next week.
Road to Rap Fest.
Road to Rap Fest is on, and please, any questions, comments you guys have, hit us up on email, rapfestinc@gmail.com, or tweet us, and we'll get back to you. But most importantly, try to join us on Saturday for the prayer walk. I think that's going to be, if you've never done anything like this before, this is your chance to start. It might spark something in you, to really take it back to your neighborhood and do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's important. And actually, the Bronx is just there's one little area in the Bronx.
We're doing a hugging tour. We told, right, Jose?
Hugging tour?
We're doing a hugging tour. My church is known for the church to hug people. Really? It takes you half an hour to leave the church every service because you got to hug everybody before you go. So we decided that we want to do a hugging tour. Go out there, I need the mothers from the churches, the mothers. I'm talking about the mothers, the ones that really, really love these kids. To go out there and really snatch one of these kids and hug them. Because sometimes that's all they need to change is a hug.
Funny.
But it's a hugging tour, man. I'm telling you.
I want to videotape that.
So you put signs?
No signs. You just go up. Listen,
the kids do that now. Free hugs everywhere. Any conference. Free hugs.
This is going to be a hugging tour, man. God is going to do some great stuff Saturday. You're going to see that there's something that's going to break in our neighborhood.
Amen. Come out and experience that with us. We'd appreciate it. And if you can't make it, pray for us. Keep praying for us that God will give us strength and wisdom in what we do. We started the show with a song called Sunday's Best by Red Dot, one of the confirmed artists from Rap Fest 2012, who's actually going to be ministering the night before Rap Fest in Maryland, because we have a night before Rap Fest happening in Maryland as well. We're just trying to expand. 3HP
in Baltimore, right?
In Baltimore, Maryland. 3HP Promotions has set that up. So check them out. Go to 3hpnation.com and see all the details for their event. They're a big media sponsor for us this year. So they're doing a night before Rap Fest in Baltimore, Maryland, and then they're encouraging everybody to get on the bus with them to come to Rap Fest on Saturday.
Nice.
So that's going to be nice.
Support. And I saw all the sponsors you have coming in.
Yeah, we have a lot of sponsors. A lot of people are rallying behind the vision.
K-Love, listen to K-Love, because Rap Fest will be announced.
Yep, K-Love is supposed to be announcing Rap Fest for a whole week next week.
Wow, nice.
And
listen to Radio Vision, they're going to be announcing it also.
Radio Vision, we're going to be on Sunday night.
Radio Rap Feste. Rap Fest.
What's the AM signal for them?
13:30 a.m.
13:30 a.m. And are they also online too, right?
They're also on radiovision.net.
Radiovision.net. We'll tweet about it.
Yeah.
Video? Or
video. They live stream it, man.
It's a
so you come Sunday.
I gotta bring my chair.
Sunday, you're gonna have. It's gonna be nice. If you want, you know what?
I'm not bringing the band.
That's a lot of work.
Just bring a shirt that says Rap Fest on it, and you'll be all right.
No, we'll just show up.
And it's in Spanish too. The station, so I hope your Spanish is good.
I charge extra for that. I gotta bring a translator. No,
Festo.
Rapa Festa.
It's gonna be awesome.
Get ready for
awesome. We got a good hour on the radio, and it's the hour that everybody's coming out of church, so they're in the vans listening, and there's people getting home at that time. So Radio Vision at that precise hour is one of the best hours to have on the radio.
Getting out of church at 9 on Sunday.
Churches have service at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
I'm just like, because to me it's like I don't know what that is anymore.
Cool. So anyway, we started with a red dot. We started with red dot.
Pentecostal church, the
He's not Pentecostal. He took that off.
He took that
off. We started with red dot. Sunday's best. Yeah, he's getting tough, right?
I'm telling you, yo.
Café con leche. It's been a while, bro. I miss you, bro.
Big café. Big taza.
Big café con leche.
Big taza.
Big taza.
But what I want to do is end with a music video. I want to end with a music video by David Michael. The video is called Wicked. He's another confirmed artist for Rap Fest 2012. Yeah. We're really excited. Like I said, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, rapfestinc.com. Email us, call us, whatever you have to do. Get connected. We'll give you any details and information you need.
Absolutely.
This is Rap Fest Radio, rapfestradio.com. Thanks to Pastor Bauza from Calvary Church and Jose from Triple J Audio chilling in the background. Eli with the sharp outfit for today's show.
The last time. Last time.
Watch, you're going to get good comments. People are like, you guys should wear ties. It's like, no. Yeah, talking about you.
From head to tail, brother.
He thought this was the Radio Visión interview. That's what happened. He had to make No, check out this video. You'll enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching, and tune in next week. Rapfest Radio, rapfestradio.com. You will know it's because we are out of control.
Stretch out before I'm gonna